A little pinch of that can take an individual out. And I know in the healthcare field or the service fields, they kind of warn the first responders to be mindful of that, because if that powder from fentanyl is on you and you've passed out and I'm trying to help you, it can also take
straight
me
up.
out.
Yeah.
So those are things we need to be mindful and educate the public on, and I'm hoping that we'll do more of that next week.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that toward the end as far as what to expect. Yeah.
So I want to get into a little bit more of the reasonings why someone would, refer to a substance versus coping skills, So what are some things you think kids, of course, teens and even adults are going through that help them to cope? Like, what's causing that drive?
To
the youth.
Indulge?
Yes.
I think it's just basic teaching, whether it's from home or back into the school system, teaching people other ways to cope versus giving a pill or a substance, because we do know that it's a moneymaker.
Right.
Definitely. Even the prescribed drugs are money makers. And if we can encourage people to, talk more about it at home.
Yeah.
And then going into the community to find better resources, more natural resources to handle their issues. And I'm not saying that everybody can do it the natural way.
Right.
Because we do have conditions that require medication.
Right.
And that should be supervised by your provider, physician, what have you. However, I think that starts at home and bringing that back into the schools.
Yeah.
I know a lot of schools are not talking about that like they used to. Like we used to be say no to drugs and whatever, but we need more than
campaign.
that. We
Yeah,
can't
back
just
in
say
the 80s.
no.
Yeah.
We need to give them some options.
Right.
Starts
Why?
with education.
Yeah.
Starts with education. What are your goals? I mean, that's one thing we can ask some of the older kids. What are some of your goals after school? After you graduate, if you want to graduate, what are some of your life goals? And then how do you want to attain those goals? What can keep you from those goals? Just simple things like that.
Values identification kind of
Right.
stuff.
And then I feel like, particularly with my son, it was like a straightforward type of teaching. This is what it is. This is what it can do.
Right.
You have a choice, yes, but think about some of the things that you want to do in life as well. So make good decisions.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Try to, yeah.
I know we all can't do it all the time.
I know.
But make good decisions
perfect.
most of the time. So I just feel like we need to be straightforward with these kids, because the media is.
Yeah.
Or
straight up.
It's out there. Yeah.
It's out there.
Well,
It's not always the truth.
Touching back to, like causes, I think maybe, that could be one of those causes is, seeking the drugs because of isolation.
Yes.
They don't feel like they can talk to anyone.
That's it.
Right.
And again,
Social
that goes back
skills.
to the parents. I feel like, first of all, the best thing you can have is a great relationship with your kid,
Come on
period.
now.
Know what's going on with
That's
them.
the foundation.
But when it comes to the prevention of, drug abuse and, addictions issues developing, talking early about these things and often.
That's
Early
right.
Don't
and
just
often,
have that
right.
one talk and think you dumb,
Right.
But having those talks, where when you think it's too much, keep
Come
talking.
on.
You know
That's
what I'm saying?
right. That's
You got to
right.
have those conversations.
Right.
I think I do that.
Yeah, there you go. Developmentally appropriate, of course, right? I'm not going to talk to my 10-year-old the same as I'm going to talk to my 17-year-old.
Very true.
But I think, having that door open and knowing that they can come to you, and that goes back to having a good relationship with your kid. Because if you're that dominating parent that they're scared they're going to get in trouble, they're not going to come to you.
They're going to
You
shut
know what I
down.
mean?
Set the tone early.
But if there's trust,
Right.
which comes from
Right.
consistency,
Yep.
it's a little different.
Consistency and showing up.
Yeah.
That's
Showing
right.
up even for the sport events. When they're younger, and I'm talking like you got to reach them like third grade now. We can't wait till middle school, because by that time they're trying to grow away from you. So you need to have that foundation before they 10, 11 years old.
And then they start to deal with all that stress,
Right.
like puberty and social
Come
stuff
on.
and expectations from school.
Yeah.
And
And they have that foundation to fall back on when those things present themselves.
Yeah.
What did mom or dad tell me, or what did we talk about a few years ago? So I just believe that we need to start talking to them earlier
Right.
and consistently.
Often, yeah.
Yeah.
And then just embracing who they are, helping them with accepting that self-esteem, making sure that they are loving on themselves. Because again, like you just said, I mean, once they get to middle school, that's the crucial time right there. I always hear like my people, like my clients, you know, that 7th grade. That's the kicker right there.
Yes, that is. And you're at the cusp of the puberty.
Yes.
And again, trying to fit in. And
that's a whole nother conversation,
oh my
too.
gosh.
I know, right.
Whole session.
Right.
Because they wasn't shooting in schools when I was growing up, you know.
Right.
We scrapped.
It's a lot of public
Man.
issues going on. And if a child doesn't feel accepted at home or have enough love for themselves by that age, then it will be easier for them to get with the cliques that's going to accept them. Yeah. So we do have to pay attention to that, and then get the kids involved outside of the gadgets and stuff.
Right.
That's another one too. It's I think a big reason for kids, you know, going to the drug and alcohol route is because lack of activities, lack of things to do, boredom.
Just boredom.
Straight up boredom, you know. And you add the peer pressure with that, you know what I mean?
I got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Yep. That's very true. And being able to help them to talk about their feelings.
Yeah.
Not
Shut them down.
Yeah.
I was thinking of that too. You know, I feel like I've said it before. You know, there's this huge stigma about coming to therapy. You know what I mean? Like you got to be crazy to do therapy. But I feel
especially in our community.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
So
Don't have to
I
be
mean,
crazy.
we got to do better, man. Because if they see that getting treatment for getting therapy is the same as getting treatment for a cavity. You know what I'm saying? Then there's not that stigma, and maybe they're going to be more likely to ask for help. And I think therapy stuff, people, social, emotional development should be done in, as early as possible. But
as early as possible.
You know what I mean? But quite often we wait till there's a problem, know, and so
trying to correct it when if we do it from a preventative measure, it is much easier, to get them to adulthood.
And you can't prevent everything, but I feel like if you have a strategy based off of science,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? You're not just out there winging it.
That's
true. Know, I think it's a little easier to get back on track when things do get off. And at the same time, like you said, you try to make as many good decisions as you can. We all screw up.
Yeah,
but,
nobody's perfect.
Yeah, but they'll always come to you if you have that solid connection, and they'll be willing to ask for the help if there's not a stigma about it.
That's right. I love that.
And know who your kids are hanging with.
Come on.
Know their friends, know the friends' moms and dads, and what their home life is like.
Right. Yeah.
Because, again, you have to set those boundaries. And unfortunately, it's not going to be the coolest thing to do, as far as where your kid's concerned. But I believe that when they look back on it, they'll appreciate it,
Yeah.
So be involved with your kids. Take the hinges off the doors if you need to.
Old school.
Do what you need to do to know your kids.
Yes.
I go back to too. It's better to do it in the beginning. It's easier to do it in the beginning.
Right.
You know what I mean, and have that consistency than you just were never involved with their friends, and all of a sudden you what I'm saying? You want to know everybody. What's little Johnny's mama's name? Where they work at? You know what I'm saying? But again, if every time you walk in a room they text, they hiding their phone.
Right. Come on now.
That's a red flag.
Yes.
That's a red flag. But
where they live. And how long you gonna be gone? These are for the older kids.
Yeah.
The high school kids. Yes, let them have their freedom, but then still give them those boundaries. Because I do believe most kids want structure and boundary.
They do. Yeah.
But some parents, tend to think that when they're 16, 17, that they need to back off. No, that's one of the most critical times. You still need to be in there and rooting for them.
That makes me think of something too, because it kind of ties back into what we've been talking about. But consistency. Number one, boundaries.
Yes,
right?
That's a big one.
And the connection. Being able to have that connection with your kid. And I feel like if you have those things, it's hard to go wrong. You know what I mean?
It's hard, but some of us find ways to do it. So
right.
I'm just gonna say that.
Well, and I feel like too, there's got to be consequences. Consequences don't always have to be negative.
That's
things,
true. That's very true.
But I feel like there's got to be consequences. I feel like if your kid's messing up, to me that's an alarm bell that you're not. They've been reprogrammed. They've been brainwashed by something out there, and they're not thinking like you should be thinking. You know what I mean? So spending more time with them, not less. You know what I mean?
That's the values. So what we need to talk about then.
Yeah.
The values. What kind of values are you giving them? And if you don't have any values or structure early on, think about that. So that kid is kind of going through life or through middle school, high school, just willy-nilly.
Just whatever.
Yeah, whatever goes.
I feel like every family should have family rules, you know what I mean? And they should be posted. They should be on something. Because then it's like,
right.
don't be mad at me. This is
It's right here.
You know what I'm saying?
It's right here.
We all agreed on
why
this.
we have the rules.
Yeah.
Not just because
For everybody.
I said so.
That's right.
Yeah.
But why we have the
Yeah.
rules, for your long-term, short-term goals.
Yeah, I love that.
These are some things that, will get you there.
And I think that's another way to build connection. Because if you're willing to come to the table with the kid and agree on something, come up with like this contract together, it's showing them respect, it's giving them power, it's giving them a voice in this relationship, in this house.
Voice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and they're more likely to follow the rules and respect those boundaries because they agreed to it. They bought
That's
into
right.
it, So, yeah.
right.
But if it's just do what I say, not what I do.
That doesn't work.
You know?
Not now
Because
anyway.
they're
Right.
likely going to do what you do.
Right.
That's
right.
it.
Yeah.
So for those who are just joining us, we are talking about youth and alcohol and how this is impacting our young people. And we are just giving some really good tips on how to prevent your child or youth or whomever that you're close to from going down that path. So we definitely talked about setting those boundaries, being more aware of your friends, your kids' friend groups, and being okay by checking their phones. Like, go
you're
through the
paying the
phones.
bill, who's
Come
paying the bill?
on. That's right. Go through their phones. It's okay to do that. And so building that connection with your child is so crucial, especially in today's society, today's world.
And building that self-esteem.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's crucial in your early teen years and your later teen years. And then because kids want to be a part
Yes,
of
they do.
something. And that's good because that shows them getting more into their social
Community.
Right.
Yeah, right. And that's good. However, they still need to have some grounding of self-love
That's it.
and self-acceptance, which will make them less likely
Come on.
to indulge in the other things. Even if they have a group of kids
Right.
around them doing it, maybe they will be strong enough to walk away and say, hey, I'm not with
Not
that.
for me.
Yeah. Be able to speak up,
Right.
advocate for themselves.
Yeah,
This is
that's
awesome.
Good. Yeah.
So, Miss Tammy, we getting ready to wrap up here. This has been, this is very informative. This is a really good topic that we're talking about. And I know this is not going to be the last topic we're going to talk about when it comes to, because there's so many avenues we can take with this. So tonight we just want to just bring that awareness and just kind of focus on like tools, especially for parents dealing with this right now. So you have an event next Saturday. Can you kind of share
Saturday.
that? Yep.
So next Saturday here in Fort Wayne, we will have the National Drug and Alcohol Awareness event. We've done this for several years. However, next Saturday, March 23rd at 12 noon at the Allen County Library downtown. 12 noon, we'll probably wrap up about 2:30. You don't have to come for the whole time, but please come and get some information. We will have refreshments there, which is free. Registration is free. So please come out and join us. And registration is on Eventbrite.
Yes.
So it's the National Drug and Alcohol Awareness event for Fort Wayne, Indiana, March 23rd at 12 noon. And thank you.
I love that. Free resources, people. Come
Yes,
out.
we'll have several vendors available that are here in the community.
Okay. Thank you for
Thank
doing
you.
that, putting that on. We definitely need that in our community.
Thank you, and thank you for making it aware to the community.
Come on. Any other announcements? Anything else we got going on? Okay.
Not right now.
Not right now, but definitely next Saturday, come out if you're not doing anything. If parents definitely want to get educated, we'll have the resources there. So, so next month we'll be right back at this thing. It's going to be a different topic. This is what we do. We want to bring awareness when it comes to mental health and touching on so many different avenues. And so, again, please join us on the 1st and 3rd Friday of next month. We'll be right back here. Thank you.